In today's video, I've got with me the Backbone Generation 2 gaming controller made for mobile devices. I've got the USB-C variant. This works. I'm going to be showing it working with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But I did also really love the original Lightning one. I used this with my iPhone 13 mini. And so whether you're going to be picking up a Generation 2 Lightning one or a USB-C one, I want to help you decide whether this is the right gaming controller for you, and also share with you what I've noticed going between the Generation 1 and then the Generation 2. Now down below will be links to the controller itself and also the different chapters of the video, so feel free to jump around at your heart's content. First and foremost, I want to start with the design. And looking at both of these controllers, there's really not a lot that's changed. Overall, I really loved the build quality on the first generation, and I also love it here. All the buttons, really clicky, very nice. I've not had any issues, and honestly, long-term build quality, I can attest for that too, simply because I've had the Lightning one for a very long time, and it's working perfectly fine. Zero issues whatsoever. So if that's something you're concerned with, well, definitely don't be, because long term, you shouldn't have any problems with the Backbone controller. Now, one thing that has changed with the build is these little magnetic adapters. So they've made a bunch of them to work with different devices. I've actually taken mine off simply because I've been just snapping the 15 Pro Max right into the controller itself, and it works perfect just like that. Now, right away, you'll notice if you looked at the Generation 1, you couldn't use a case. That was the big drawback. Well, I'm happy to report on this one, you don't have to worry about having a case on your device, at least for the iPhone 15s, because I don't know with other devices, you might need a different adapter, and whether or not that adapter will work with a case on your phone, that is to be seen. But if you've got a 15 Pro Max, or an iPhone 15, you can snap any of them into here and you will be good to go. On my 15 Pro Max right now, I have the Kodabe sheath. So that case works totally fine with this. Now, if you do have something that's really bulky, of course, that might be a little bit of an issue and you might have to remove your case. But I think that for the most part, just looking at how this fits with my particular setup, I don't think you should have any issue as long as you have a case that isn't too overly thick. So you should be good to go and be able to just throw in your phone into here. And I've got to say, I really love it. Although on the first generation, I didn't really have that issue. I know you had to take your case off to put the phone in and everything, but it was something that never really bothered me. So if it's something that's really important to you on the Generation 2, you should be totally good to go. Now that we've talked about the build, what stays the same between the Generation 1 and Generation 2 is how great of a controller this is. I really loved the Generation 1 simply because when I had my phone in here, whether that was the 13 mini or the 14 Pro or now the 15 Pro Max, it just takes you away from thinking that you have a phone in here. You really feel that Nintendo Switch type of experience, or that just console experience on the go. Now, speaking of consoles, I know one thing that you're probably thinking about is how does this work with remote play? I actually gifted the white one to my brother because he has a PlayStation. It was recently his birthday, so I got that for him. And whether he's tested it or I've tested it with my Xbox setup, if you have an Ethernet connection, you'll be totally fine. You shouldn't really have any problems. That is within the house. Now, if you're at a hotel and the Wi-Fi isn't that great, whether or not you're going to be able to get a good experience on the move, that all depends on the internet connection that you have when you are on the move. But as for just, let's say I have my Xbox set up and I just want to play some Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or maybe the new Grand Theft Auto 6 that's about to come out, and I just want to play that in bed, as long as your Wi-Fi is good, and your console is tied to a good Ethernet connection, you shouldn't really have any issues. Now, where the backbone really shines is for those dedicated games that are made for your device. Whether you have an iPhone or whether you have an Android device, games that are made for the device are gonna give you a great experience. There is no input lag. You're gonna have an awesome mobile experience and you really get immersed. Like you get that console-like feeling and you forget that you're using a phone, especially with larger devices like the Pro Max where you've just got this huge amount of real estate and it's really, really nice. So if you're looking to play a bunch of games, whether they're from Apple Arcade or for your Android device, I play a lot of COD Mobile and I can tell you it's something I do on the regular. Sometimes I'm charging my car and over there I'll quickly do a session. Other times I'm just at home and because you have your iPhone or your device on you all the time, that's what makes this great. So this is going to basically go into my backpack like the previous one did. Now for me, the 15 Pro Max isn't my main device. My main device is the 13 mini. So I'm still going to be keeping that original backbone controller. But if you're picking one up and you're getting one of the newer devices, I really don't see a reason as to why you shouldn't buy the Backbone Generation 2. I also got the case. And as much as I've enjoyed just carrying the Backbone controller in my backpack for these few years that I've had it, I really like this case because your backbone controller is going to fit in here perfectly fine. If you are using the adapters, you can leave them on there. I've actually taken off the adapters that came with it and I just put them back into the box that it came with because I don't need them. But the backbone fits in here so nice, and this gives you a nice protective case. This is 30 bucks on its own. The backbone controller for Black Friday was $60, I believe, or 65. So if you are looking to buy this, wait until it gets closer to Christmas because I'm pretty sure it'll be discounted once again. And that way, for the price of the backbone controller, you can pick up the case and the controller itself. And that's exactly what I did for myself and also for my brother with his PlayStation Edition 1. Overall, if you're looking for a great console-like experience for mobile gaming and not having to worry about using the touch controls, as great as they might be, this just lets you enjoy your device. You put your device in here, you've got the controls on the side, and it's going to give you a really, really good experience. I bought the original one, I bought the Generation 2, so honestly, over the course of years, this has been such a great experience. I will continue to use my Lightning one simply because of my 13 mini being the main device, but I did want to show it off with the latest 15 Pro Max. So get the Generation 2. You are not going to be disappointed whatsoever. If you do still have questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for your time. Do give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out because it will help me out. Take care of yourself and I will see you in the next video.